Good morning, my friend. Good morning, my friends. Thank you so much for the comments and the likes and everything. It really, it feels so good to know that, first of all, anybody's watching, because that means I know that somebody appreciates it. And it's even more wonderful to know that it's somebody that I know that appreciates it. Well, but, because a lot of times it's our friends who don't necessarily speak up. And, but then again, we're friends because we show up to each other. So, yeah, thank you. I'm really glad you're enjoying this, and I am too. It's pretty amazing the things we learn from the cycles. Why don't they teach us these things when we're young so that we would know it all through life? That's just not fair, is it? However, there are some things that we're able to pick up along the way that we can sort of notice that repeats, and then when we learn them, we can attach them back when we learn things else that, yeah. Okay, well, today is here anyway, Tuesday, the 28th of July, and its day is Domhnach Chrom Dubh. Domhnach Chrom Dubh. Probably Domhnach Chrom Dubh, which is, or who is, the Irish sacrificial god. Domhnach Chrom Dubh is connected with the festival of Lammas, as is John Barleycorn, who is the personification of grain, who was killed by being cut at this time. At the right in the picture here, okay, is Fion's wheel, a shield with magical formula that makes it a symbol of protection. Okay, now I don't know how to read all the runes of things. I know some of our other friends do. Ask the Obri Project. They know more alphabets than I do. I know a couple, but it definitely says some things in here. And let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 spokes on the wheel. 7. You know, 7's a significant number. And it definitely has some things to say there, which I don't read ancient Celtic Druishness so well. It's one of the things to learn, of course. But here, the hand of John Barleycorn. Rather looks like a hand, doesn't it? The palm, thumb, 3 main fingers, and the pinky. Actually, this one looks a little bit more thumbish and pinkyish. And then the cord down into the wrist, right? The hand of John Barleycorn. John Barleycorn, my goodness, what a character. He grows in the fields. He gives life with his grain. And like all of us, goes through his early green season and goldens and ages, and then is, well, harvested. Okay, are we as people harvested? Well, kind of. I mean, when we know how to do something and then we give our gift, that's a harvest, right? Lammas. Lamastide is mentioned in Romeo and Juliet when Juliet is talking to her nurse. And, actually, it's when Juliet's mother is talking to her nurse and speaking of Juliet as a fair child who's coming of age to be married. And the nurse says, "Oh, yes, I remember it was at Lamastide." And she says, "Enough, nurse." So she doesn't really tell us what happened then, other than Juliet was big enough to walk then and toddling all about. Well, we know that Juliet found her love, and they were interrupted, let's say, and cut down in their time of harvest. What a tragedy. And yet their story is there to give us wisdom, maybe to do what we should rather than being held back by others' fear. That's always a good thing to remember anyway. John Barleycorn is also a prominent figure in a movie I love so much called The Wicker Man. And not that new remake that they did with what's his face, Nicolas Cage, not that one, the old one with the old one from the 60s. Gosh, why can't I think of his name? He was in every movie and he's so wonderful. Anyway, The Wicker Man, there's a lot of lost lore contained in that movie, and the harvest and the sacrifices made, or a lot of that's explained in that movie. If you can check that one out, I recommend it. Fion's Wheel, a shield with magical formula that may make it a symbol of protection. Let's see if it says anything else about Fion. I don't know much. I did just recently get a new copy of Finnegan's Wake, and I read through the first couple chapters and I skipped to the end. And we meet Finn again. But I don't know if that has to do with Fionn. It was not listed here in the index. So I guess we'll not find out more about that in this book today. But hey, that's what doing our own research is all about, right? We can look up more when we have that, gumption, when we have that interest. Llamas, also not, here we are. 17, 18, 21, 92. That was 91, not 92, 92. Okay, Lammas Eve is on July 31st. So I guess we'll be talking about that again in a couple days. Ooh, connected with the trickster god Loki. So we'll hear more about that. 17, 18. Let's look up here. Lammas. Lugnasada, or La Lunasa, the 1st of August, sometimes celebrated as a 2-day festival beginning on the 31st of July, a day sacred to Loki and Sigyn. August 1st is also sacred to Odin and Frigg. The traditional color of the autumn season that begins now is brown, and the sigil is semicircle bisected by a line. The grain harvest at Lug Nasada, which runs until Samhain, how do we say it, is the first of the 3 harvests of the natural year. For the second and third, see Mabon and Soin below. So we'll be up with them. Named after the Celtic god of wisdom and illumination, Lug, equivalent in some aspects to the Anglo-Saxon god Woden and the Norse Odin. Lug Nasad represents the transformation of the goddess into the aspect of the pregnant Earth Mother. Aha. The Anglo-Saxon name of this festival is Loafmas, sure, which celebrates the cutting of the first corn harvests and the baking of the loaf from the New Year's crop. As the beginning of autumn, it heralds the gradual transformation of the childbearing mother into the old woman who manifests fully at the next harvest festival, Samhain, which of course we also know as Halloween, right? So, this is a pretty significant day then. John Barleycorn, keeper of the field, who gives us that loaf. Thank you, bread. Of course, there was that one guy, the one who said that we can't live by only bread. We need other things too. We need food for our mind and our soul. So be sure you're looking for the good stuff. Right. One other thing I wanted to point out was the name here. You can read it. Okay. Domhnach Chrom Dubh. So, Domhnach. We know Nach is night, right? And Domhnach would be the dominant night or the big night or like chief night. Chrome is color and dub would be like the dun color, like a beige. So the big night of the brownish color, because we've gone from green to the dun colors. The bread is done. How do we know when it's done? When it's all golden brown, right? Yeah. And the circle bisected. Yeah. Okay, well, I guess that's enough for now. And good morning, good day, happy day, whatever time you find this. And I love you. Thank you for always being around. I'm doing my best to always be here too. Sometimes a little earlier, sometimes a little later. And keep it together, friends. Boy, it's weird and it's hot out there. And when things get hot, people get weirder. So turn on your sprinklers. Let that faucet just happen to drip a little bit. What one thing I found out was that they bill you for so much water, and whether you use it all or not. So letting loose a little more water out there probably isn't going to change the ducat factor. So, and what if it did? So what if it does? A couple more ducats to give out a few buckets? Totally worth it. And the ground and the bugs and the critters and the air and the wind and the sun, and everyone appreciates it. So, oh, is that what this does? Oh, now I know if I'm louder. Okay, I learned a new thing. Those dots at the bottom of the screen say something about loudness. Well, hopefully I'm loud enough. I don't know. We'll find out. But thanks for watching, and I love you, and have a beautiful day, and be thankful for your bread. Of course you are. We are the bread of life, each of us, right? We're each a staff. We're each a golden stalk. We just get to walk around about it, which is pretty cool. So be thankful for your feet. Feed them good food. Okay. I love you. Bye.